What's up YouTube, Slazer here. Today we have a Skirk guide on her. We saw her in the 5.7 live stream. She's coming out in roughly 5 days. I mean, sorry, 9 days from when I'm recording this video. So in the live stream, we saw a lot about her. She's basically a cryo sword character. So let's quickly get into the kit and explain everything you need to know about her. So yeah, let's get right into the kit. So basically she is a cryo sword character, right? So the first thing we need to know is that the normal attack doesn't do anything. The normal attack is useless, it's physical, it's useless, it has no purpose. So yeah. So moving on from the important stuff, let's take a look at the passives first, because those are the important thing. The first passive that she gains is that when she triggers frozen superconduct, cryo swirl or cryo crystallization, these reactions, she will gain void drifts. These void drifts she can absorb later and buffs her damage. Basically we'll explain that a bit into after going into her kit more details. So that's basically what you need to know. When she gains the gate, when she does this reactions, she will gain void drifts and she can enhance her damage from absorbing these void drifts. So yeah, basically the other ones, all the other reactions than the frozen one, you won't be able to do them by the team, because you will in the second passive it says you only can play hydro and cryo characters. So basically if the enemy has an aura, you can gain more void drifts from that. That's basically it. Into the second, moving on to the second passive. The second passive says that if you have hydro or cryo characters, you will get, she has basically two forms. And in those two forms, if your team has hydro and cryo characters, you will heavily get buffed in those two. Any form you play, whatever you like, any form you play, you will get these a lot of buffs, 170% and 160% damage buff. That's basically a lot of damage. So for comparison, if you want to play Skirk melt team, the amount of damage that you would get from like Bennett and melt, it's not close to this buff. So basically they are heavily rewarding you for playing hydro and cryo characters only, like just like how Nilo works in Bloom teams. So you have to play hydro and cryo characters. There is no other alternatives, otherwise you will just lose damage. That's basically it. You have no choice, just play hydro and cryo characters. That's the restriction. So yeah. So the third passive is when your character, when Skirk is on the team, every party member's elemental skill level will be increased by 1. This is pretty same like Tartaglia, how his works. He increases the normal attack level. So but this one is actually pretty way more useful because of how the team works. We'll see that why this is more useful in the team section. But yeah, basically this is a lot more useful than you would think. So let's take a look at her skill. Before we take a look at her skill, let's say that Skirk doesn't require energy for the ultimate. Her ultimate is like Mavuika. She gains a special point that's called Serpent Subtlety, and when you have 50 of Serpent Subtlety, you can do the ultimate. So keep that in mind. So let's take a look at her skill now. She has two versions of the skill. Basically this is where the two types of playstyle comes from. One is skill, then normal attack playstyle. Other one is hold, then burst playstyle. So let's take a look at the tap version for now, the normal attack, which applies more cryo. So basically when you tap the skill, you gain 45 serpent subtlety, and keep in mind you need 50 for the burst. You gain 45 from the tap, and it switches to the 7-phase class mode. So in the basically in this 7-phase flash mode, you can do normal attacks and it lasts for around 12.5 seconds. But there's a catch. It doesn't actually last for 12.5 seconds. You need to gain void rifts, and it lasts for a little bit shorter than that. And if you gain the void rifts from what I told you, the reactions that you do, if you absorb those void rifts, it goes to maximum duration of 12.5 seconds. This is pretty easy to do, not really hard. So basically after you tap the skill, you will gain the normal attack infusion, and you do normal attacks, and in the normal attacks you can do ultimate. Like you don't require any energy, you can do a special ultimate. It doesn't really have any animations. I don't know how the animation looks. They showed the animation here, but I can't really differentiate which one is the normal attack burst animation. Like that, it doesn't really have a special animation like the real burst. So when you go into the tap mode, you will do normal attack and that burst. You don't need to do the burst all the time. You can do normal attack for more damage. But when you need to absorb the void drifts, you can absorb the void drifts through charge attack or the burst. So the charge attack doesn't really do that much damage. Its multiplier isn't really that high, so the doing the burst is better. It will absorb all three void drifts and you will gain more damage basically. And if you gain more void drifts after, you can do charge attack or anything to extend the duration to maximum 12.5 seconds. That's basically it for the normal attack mode. I am trying to explain it in as simple terms as possible so that you understand how to play the character, right? So yeah, that's basically the normal attack mode. So let's take a look at the whole attack now. After holding the skill, Skirk gains 45 serpent subtlety, same amount, and will continuously move at high speed. Let's look at the animation for a little bit here. This is the real ultimate, by the way. After that, they will show the normal attack. Let's wait for the normal attack here. Okay, that's the physical attacks. That's like useless. This is the this is the tab version. As you can see here, that's the tab version. Come on, so the tab version. Here it is, I think. Okay, here's the tab version. That so as you can see, you gain 2 of the dual swords. Looks pretty good. And you will gain the cryo infusion on this. And yeah, those are cryo infused attacks on the normal attacks that I said. Tab version. Those infused cryo, he gets frozen. The hydro thing got frozen. That's the cryo infusion. And those are the void drifts on the ground. As you saw, those are the void drifts. These are the void drifts you gain from raising the enemy. Yep, that's basically it. And after that, the hold comes after this. Let's take a look at the hold version as well. And did you see they either did the charge attack or the ultimate? I can't really tell what it is. It's really hard to tell from differentiate from animation which one is it. I believe it's the charge attack. I am not sure, but yeah, I'm not sure. Those I'm just being honest. I don't know what that is. Either the charge attack or the burst. It's not that complicated. You can do either of them. It's like simple. And if you gain those void drifts through charge attack or ultimate, you extend the skill duration. That's basically it. The normal attack duration to maximum 12.5 seconds. I believe here is the hold version. Yeah, see, this is the hold version. After you hold, you can move around like this. Basically, kind of an exploration. You would think it's not really true. It can be used in combat as well. So when I explain this, you will understand this. So yeah. So when you hold that, Skirk gains at 45 serpent certainty and will continuously move at high speed. Her interruption to resistance is increased in a steady state. During this time, Skirk can control her movement direction and move out of water. On top of water, she can move. She can also use this skill again to end rapid movement. Okay, so she can use the skill again to stop the movement. Yeah, that's basically it. So pretty much after you hold the skill, you gain 45 serpent certainty, right? So let's talk about that. When you tap the skill, you gain 45 serpent certainty, but this serpent certainty will not stay with you after the duration ends. So after the 12.5 second here done, you will lose all of the serpent certainty. So you cannot use the real burst after this tap mode. You can only use the normal attacks, but that's like the normal attack playstyle. But if you want to use the burst playstyle, you can hold it and all the surface certainty that you gain will stay with you, and you can get void drifts through freeze reactions, and you can absorb them through charge attacks to gain more of the surface certainty to then burst and do a lot of damage at once. The burst multiplier is a lot higher Then like for example, let's say Ayaka, but Ayaka can do a lot more than just burst. He can do skills, he can do normal attacks, charge attacks, or anything you say. But Skirk cannot do that if he plays the burst playstyle. So the burst multiplier is a lot higher. If we see here, so the slash damage is like 221 x 5, final slash damage is 361. That's a lot of damage. It also has another multiplier from the how much surface LTU has after 50, like 12 points up to. So yeah, that does a lot of damage. It has a really higher multiplier. So that's basically it. So basically, if you do the tab version, you cannot use the burst. If you use the hold version, you will use the burst. That's the burst playstyle. If you use the hold version, you don't get normal attack infusion. That's basically it. So moving on to the ultimate. Skirk's ultimate burst is not reliant on elemental energy, yeah, but instead of surface ability. When Skirk has at least 50 surface ability, she can expend all her surface ability to unleash her elemental burst, ripping through the space before her apart and using rapid consecutive slashes that deal AoE cryo damage. At the same time, the damage dealt by an instance of this elemental burst will be increased by every point of surface ability over 50 when it is unleashed. See, up to 12 points can be counted for this purpose. So up to 12 points after 50, you will gain a damage boost for the burst. When Skirk is in 7 phase flash mode, Havoc Ruid will be replaced by Havoc Extinction. So that's the tab version, right? Havoc Extinction is a special elemental burst that can be used when without consuming surface LT. As I explained earlier, when you are on the tab version, you will get a special burst that will not be the same animation. It will be something different. I am not sure which one it is. But if you do this special burst when you are in the normal attack mode, you will absorb the void drifts, as it says here. A special elemental burst that can be used even without consuming surface LT. See, after using it, Skirk will gain the all shall wither effect, which will last until 7 phase plus ends. After unlocking the passive talent Reason Beyond Reason, she can also absorb nearby void drifts. Okay, so here it says you can this passive here it says like you can create void drifts through the reactions. After unlocking this, you can gain the void drifts. While all Cell Wither is active, every 0.1 second after Skirk's normal attack hits an opponent, that normal attack will deal increased damage. If she absorbed any void rips while using Havoc Extinction, this normal attack damage will be further increased based on the number of rips absorbed. So you can get up to maximum up to 3 rips. This effect will be cancelled when it has triggered 10 times. So basically you have 2 playstyle after this. One is from the tap skill and hold skill. By tapping, to summarize, by tapping you can get into the normal attack mode and do normal attacks and do the special burst to absorb the void rifts to maximize the duration. And in the hold mode you can hold it and then get the burst and do a charge attack probably to gain the ultimate and then do ultimate and move on. That's basically it. But keep in mind, in the hold attack mode, the burst mode, you don't apply a lot of cryo, but in the tap mode you do apply a lot of cryo. Keep that in mind. So based on which one you need, you can pretty much swap between them. But also keep that in mind that in Abyss, when you start with full energy, will start with full serpent certainty. So what you can do is you can start with a ultimate, and after doing the ultimate you can like quickly tap and start doing normal attacks after doing the rotation. So that will deal a lot of damage because in the start you will gain like the maximum amount of the maximum amount of multiplier on her. You can get like double the damage, but it's not gonna happen after the first chamber or something, because when you tap the skill and gain the normal attack mode, when the mode ends, all the serpent certainty will be cleared and you will have 0 left, so you cannot use the burst in the next phases. If you want to avoid that, let's say I'll give you a tip here. So let's say the enemy has very low HP, you can use the other teammates rotation to kill the enemy. Meanwhile, you can use the Skirk hold mode to acquire surplus subtlety and save the burst for the next phase. That's a trick that you can do, that will help you. If you have time, you can do this. If you don't, if you have short on time, there's no chance, right? So that's one thing. So pretty much that's about it for the kit. So let's take a look at some other things in the stuff that you need to know. So basically, let's talk about the team first. You cannot use anything else other than Furina and Escoffier. These two characters are the foundation of this team, of this freeze team. Just like for Ayaka, they are two of the best units in the game, and for Skirk, this will be true as well. You cannot swap these two out. These two are like really good. Especially Escoffier. Skirk's damage like falls off like 50% if you don't have Escoffier on team. Keep that in mind. 50%. You need this character. If you didn't get her in the last rerun, like her banner, not rerun, she just came out. If you didn't get her, make sure to get her in the rerun if you want to play Skirk or any freeze teams for that matter. She's really broken. It's kind of like insane how broken she is. And yeah, so the Skirk team will be like, let's say Ayaka is Skirk, you will gain Furina, Escoffier, and the fourth slot can be anyone, like Yelan can be in the fourth slot, or you can use Citlali. I don't have Citlali here. Let's go into the character archives. Here, let's do this. Yep. So these two are the like go-to character. You cannot replace them. If you have them, must use them, or if you don't have them, get them quickly if you want to play Skirk. Like they're really good. They can't be replaceable. I'm not really like trying to like get you to pull new characters or something if you don't have them. These two are like that good, right? So yeah, and Citlali is also another good option. You can also use Elan if you are trying to use the normal attack mode, or Xingqiu for that matter. Both works. Sene also works, but doesn't really work well with Skirk. You just use Escoffier. Sene really fall off. She works with Ayaka, but not really Skirk that well. It does work, doesn't really matter. You can also use Rosaria for some damage. She doesn't really, Rosaria pretty much used for battering Ayaka with Fav or something, but can't really be used for Skirk that well. But you can use her for a little bit of extra damage. Pretty much I would say Citlali or Elan would be your best choice for this. But let's talk about how crazy this is. So a character like Silonen or Kazuha, let's say Silonen, because Silonen buffs a little bit more than Kazuha, right? So a character, let me find Silonen, 1 second. Yeah, Silonen. So a character like Silonen who has like a good amount of buffs in a Skirk team, she's like worse than, let's for example say any of the 4-star, let's say Fremine. Silonen will be worse than Fremine in a Skirk team. You know why? Because of that passive. Silonen is a Geo character, the passive will not be activated, so you will lose a lot of damage. So if you instead of Silonen use any cryo or hydro character, that will deal a lot more damage. So yeah, keep that in mind. Basically you need a cryo or hydro character team. You need that. I'm telling that like 1,000 times. That's the main thing about this kit. You need that basically. So yeah, that's about it. Keep that in mind. And yeah, with that, that's pretty much the team section. Let's take a look at some of the weapons here. Which weapon you can use? Let's filter by swords. Yeah. So her signature, this is a really good signature, and not really a lot of ahead than the other options. This gains her 48% attack boost and 40% crit damage and 22% crit rate on the base stat. And base attack is 674, highest one. Not the highest one, I think pretty much one of the higher ones. This is pretty much her best in slot, obviously. But you do have other options. So for example, the other two best options would be Primordial Jade Cutter or Mistsplitter. So for Jade Cutter, to talk about Jade Cutter, we need to talk about the artifact sets first. uh, okay, let's talk about the sets first then. Let's talk about the sets first then. So you only have two options pretty much on the sets, right? So you have either my resource or the new set that came out. Basically, you can either use this or my resource, basically these two. So this set, it gives you a lot of normal attack damage bonus or burst damage bonus if you have zero energy. Basically, Skirk has zero energy. So it doesn't use the energy, so it considered zero energy. So this works really well. This is like tailor made for her. But the problem comes in like, even though this is tailor made for her, this is not better than Marisosa Hunter. Marisosa Hunter is like too good for her. Like it's a little bit ahead than the other option. This gains her normal attack damage bonus and charge attack damage bonus, and this gives her 36% crit rate. So basically, you are using her with Escoffier and Furina. So Furina can enable the Marisosa Hunter set on anyone. So that's nice, right? So you can use the March Hunter set on her, but if you use this set, a lot of the crit rate weapons becomes a problem to build the character. So you cannot use this weapon then. So if you are planning to use the Jade Cutter, you might as well use the new set, right? It doesn't really matter. You just use this set if you don't only have Jade Cutter or something, or if you want to use Jade Cutter, you cannot use the Marisosa set then. Use this set if you are using any of the crit rate weapons. Use this set, otherwise you will overcap on crit and that will be a waste. So yeah, for the any of the crit options that you use the others, use the signature set. The Mist Splitter is also really good. All of the effects here can be used on Kirk, and she can activate all of them basically. She gains all three of the stacks easily, no problem, and 100% uptime, no problem. So yeah, and it is also crit damage weapon, so there's no issue on that over. So pretty much this is the best one. These two are the second best pro kind of, and other options can be like lo-fi can be pretty good. Yeah, this is a pretty good stat stick. 88% crit damage and 4% crit rate. The passive doesn't really do anything for other this or weapons as well. Any of the big stat sticks you can use, they don't really do much. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Submits, if you have this weapon as well, this is also pretty good. So that's pretty much it for the 5 stars. Let's talk about the 4 stars now. So yeah, basically the best options that you would have is from, I think this one, I think an event weapon. So this is like the calamity of Eshu. While characters are being protected by a shield, damage dealt by normal attack and charge attack is increased by 20%. Is this the max refinement? Let's see, max refinement. Yeah, damage dealt by normal attack and charge attack increased by 40%, and the crit rate is increased by 16% of normal and charge attacks. So this is like a pretty good statistics, like really good stats. And I think the shield effect is a little bit annoying because you only have like option like Sitlal, you don't have strong options like Zhongli. You can only use Sitlali, and Sitlali's shield is not that reliable for 100% uptime, but it's still pretty good if you want to use it. You don't need to use Sitlali all the time though. For this you don't have not have any other options. Other than that, I'd say Finale of the Deep is also a pretty good statistics. This one is also pretty good if you want to use it. This one also works. Other than that, any of the other damage weapons could work. Keep in mind that she doesn't really have so many options, but yeah, a lot of the good ones are there. Finale of the Deep or Calamity of Essus are one of the good ones. You can also use the Black Sword, I believe. Yeah, other than that, I'd say if you are looking for any like summarize these two, Jade Cutter and Mist Splitter are two of the best options. Just depends on which artifact set you want to use, and that's that. Any of the other statistics works as well. A lot of the passive doesn't work, so keep that in mind. These two passives still work on are pretty good. So yeah, that's about it for the weapon sections. So let's talk about the artifacts now. So the artifacts, your, as I already said in the weapon section, you can only use Marisosa Hunter or the new set Finale of the Deep, these two. This one is like normal attack damage bonus and charge attack sorry, it's only normal attack and burst damage bonus, no charge attack. And yeah, that's about it. Keep in mind, if you want to use any of the crit rate weapons, you cannot use the Marisosa Hunter. So that's about it. Other than that, if you want to get other options, I think Desert Pavilion can work kind of. Not really, but it will work. It does have normal attack damage bonus and some attack speed. It would be pretty okay. You can also use the Blizzard Shade, but keep in mind, if you cannot freeze the enemy, it will lose 20% of the crit rate, so it's not recommended. Marisosa is just better. There's no questions. It's just better. So that's about it for the artifacts. You have a lot of options. Like Marisosa Hunter came out in 4.2. Sorry, 4, not even 4.2, 4.0. So, and a lot of the characters use Marisosa. It's a really strong set. You might already have a good set built of Marisosa, so you don't need to farm the new set. Also, if you don't have a character like Sao or Varesa, this new set, a plunge set or with the cryo set isn't really useful for you. So you might want to stick to Magesose for now. So yeah, that's about it for the artifacts. Let me know what you think about the new character. If you have any other questions, comment down below. I'll answer as many as possible, as many as I can. Most of them I'll answer. But yeah, if you find this video helpful, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.